Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, Reeling in Holistic Health, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and I want to make sure that you tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I have my special guest on to talk about real issues that matter most. I want you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, on Business Facebook page, also on the Be Awesome Network. Stay tuned. I think you're going to really like this next guest.
Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright, a chance to cast your net, step into the light. Life's full of challenges, it's a winding stream, but with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I am Coach Rice, and with me today I have a special guest. Her name is Terra, and we're going to find out who she is, where she's from, and what she do. So, Terra, tell us, where you from and what inspired you to actually be a leadership success consultant?
Well, I'm currently in Virginia, in the Richmond area. My husband and I have been missionaries for 20 plus years, in leadership, leading ministries, all over the West Coast and Hawaii. Oh, darn. That was a rough one. So leadership has always been something that I've been a part of. However, through education and a lot of soul searching, I've lived the last 50 plus years suffering from imposter syndrome, and I didn't realize what it was. I thought it was just insecurity, but I didn't realize that it was something that stemmed from childhood trauma. So through all of my education over the last 5 years, I've really done a huge deep dive into what that means, what it is, how I can overcome it, all of the above, on top of working on my PhD. So no easy task. So there were a lot of tears, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of patience on my husband's side, I must say. A lot of patience.
It's so great to have that, right?
Right. It really is. The patience and the support. They go hand in hand. So what really inspired me is not only my background, but my research that I'm doing for my PhD. It all kind of melded together so beautifully. And so it really is a program from the heart, is what I created.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And so you finished your PhD, am I correct?
No,
I am still working on it? Okay.
Almost. I will be done by the end of the year.
That's awesome.
God willing. End of the year is my goal, to have everything written and have my dissertation approved by the dean.
I am so, I'm happy for you, and I would say, kudos to you, because that's not that's a huge step, and it's awesome
really
that you've taken that step to do what you need to do. So when you were dealing with imposter syndrome, I dealt with it too before, and I had to do work too, because it does come from childhood trauma. When you were dealing with it, did you notice like how you approached your education journey as you were going through it?
I did so before there's a very, very different between my undergrad and about midway through my master's. I approached it very different, because about midway through, I started gaining a little more confidence, going, I think I understand what I'm dealing with. So there was that, now I have a clue. Before, I had no idea what I was dealing with, and it was more frustrating than anything. You've got friends and leaders telling you you've got to pray more, you've got to have more faith. And it
Oh
didn't
wow.
matter how many times I was on my knees begging, what is going on? Why am I like this? And I couldn't figure it out. But God wasn't allowing me to go through situations so that when I did figure it out, I could put all those pieces together and help others.
Okay.
I mean, I have to look at it that way. You know? I have to. But
Yeah,
yeah, I do.
yeah.
And now I look at this side of my education very different. Um, to answer your question,
And
there's
so
a lot
what's the
more
difference
confidence.
between, okay, a lot more confidence, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was going through that imposter syndrome, I approached my education, as it's an overachiever and
Hmm. Yeah.
extremely hypervigilant about grades.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
The
And I was
perfectionist.
wondering if you dealt, yeah, the perfectionist. Yes, I couldn't
Yes.
get, and it did help me get the grades I needed, but I had to still deal with the imposter syndrome after. So I get it.
Right.
And so you
Well,
have this method that you use that's called the CHOPS method. Tell
the
us
CHOPS
about
method.
that. Mhm.
So, like I said, I created the CHOPS method out of my own journey, my own adventure, whatever you want to call it, with self doubt and imposter syndrome. I knew what it felt like to achieve on the outside, but still be struggling inside with all those feelings of uncertainty. You know,
Okay.
why me? Who am I for them to listen to?
Oh yeah.
All of that evil mean
The
girl on
inner
the
critic,
inside that,
right?
you know, yeah. So over time, through all of my education, I discovered that real growth came from strengthening 5 pillars,
Okay.
which are part of my research, um, and I can share that too. But the pillars are confidence, hope, optimism, perseverance, and spirit, which is the
Okay.
acronym, or which is CHOPS. That's for the acronym. Um, and together, it's a simple, but it's a powerful framework that it helps people build that mindset muscle for lasting success.
Okay.
I've been through so many different programs, but everything is so disconnected that nothing really lasted. And
Mm,
when I started to think about it, it was they weren't helping me strengthen mind, body, spirit. It was, you just have to make that mindset shift. Well, it's not that easy for everybody, you
yeah,
know?
that's
And
true. You have to
and
process some things.
yeah, and so it was a little challenging. And so through my experience, through my education, this is my brainchild, my heart project.
Okay.
It's, I've got the 5 pillars of that help strengthen both your personal and professional life, whether you want to be a leader or you aspire, you're an aspiring leader or you're already one. you know we touch every part of it. Confidence, it helps make clear decisions without second guessing ourselves, which is part of imposter syndrome.
Right.
As we second guess a lot. And the hope gives us motivation and direction for the future.
Okay.
Without hope, where do we go? What do we do? And then
Right.
optimism, it helps us to kind of shift our perspective so that setbacks don't derail us. It helps us with that resilience. Um, and then the perseverance, obviously, it helps us to keep moving forward when things get rough. We have to persevere. And spirit, I
Hmm.
want everything rooted in, you know, so I'm not going to push my beliefs on somebody because
Hmm.
everybody has their own spiritual beliefs. But I
Right.
think that still has to be part of that root, foundation, is helping people to tap into those root values of their spiritual
Yeah,
side.
spirituality
Hmm.
is a very
Yeah.
important
And
component
so
to
it helps,
help. Yeah.
yeah, it helps create that balance and resilience. And through all that, they influence others. And
Okay.
so, it just really, it moves the needle so to speak,
Yes. Okay.
and not in only a personal, I can see it in myself. No, other people around you are going to see that. I mean, when I started making some of these changes that I was kind of going through, and, okay, how am I going to do this? How's it going to work? I went through my own program. And there was one night we were at a community event, and, I was just out talking to everybody, being a little social butterfly. And my husband, on our walk home, he's like, that's not like you. You've changed.
Mm.
And I'm like, is that good? He goes, no, it's great. He goes, I don't feel like I have to keep you tucked under my wing anymore.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay, okay, it works. you know? And so using my own story, I was working before all that. I was working with one of my business clients, and had her over for dinner one night, and we were talking about how she wanted to start a business. And
Okay.
so I started walking her through all that stuff, because that is what my degrees are in, is business, and my PhD is psychological or business psychology.
Okay.
Um, and so walking through, here's what you need to do, here's, let's talk about your goals and things like that. And now 2 years later, um, she's confident, she's focused, she's got employees, and she's going to hit six figures in her business.
Oh,
Which,
wow.
yeah. And when I say I didn't think that was possible, I really didn't think that was possible at such a level that she's at. She's a wash and fold laundry service, but
Wow.
she does a premier job. She does an amazing job. And so now she has people working for her. She has other people seeking her out. She's doing amazing. And, so we still talk through, growing pains that every
So she
business
went through
has.
your
She
consulting
did.
program. Okay.
She did. Yeah. And, she's my test tube.
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, to say that she started with the CHOPS program would be an understatement, because
Hmm.
here's what I want to try. Let's talk about this, and let's talk about that. And so that she, in a sense, helped me put it together, because she was my feedback.
So you went through your own program, the CHOPS
Mm-hmm.
program. Can
Mm-hmm.
you,
I
with
did.
imposter syndrome, am I correct?
Yes.
So walk us through like a high level version of what that looked like in each acronym for you personally, if you don't mind.
For me personally, okay. So confidence. Okay. So confidence, I could look it on the outside, but inside I was terrified and discombobulated, and just insecure about life. Who am I?
Hmm.
What am I? What am I doing here? Nope, they're going to find out that I'm the fraud. I just have to keep going. And when I talk about the characters of imposter syndrome, I was a little bit of all of them.
Okay.
And there's five different characters to imposter syndrome, and I was a little bit of all of them.
Okay.
And you know so the perfectionist, the hero, the you know
Yes.
the do it yourself, I mean, I was a little bit of everything.
Okay.
um and so hope, I've always had hope. That one wasn't a hard one, because I'm faithful in my faith. I'm so that hope has always been there, but it's always been on the spiritual level. It was never in the practical sense of everyday life,
Okay.
and starting a business and leading workshops or anything like that. So that definitely was not there. Whereas now I'm, you know, doing podcasts, which I would have never done before. Um, I mean, putting myself out there,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's not something I would have even attempted. I would have been like, nope, mm, uh-uh. Um, and optimism I've always had. It's like, no, I want to do this so bad. My husband used to call me Lucy because, whether it be, um, not to mention all the MLM companies, but, I've kind of tried
Yeah,
them all. But
me
my
too.
own insecurities and my own imposter syndrome, I wasn't very successful with any of them. And,
Right.
so if I were to do them now, which I really don't want to, but if I were to do them now, I know I would do a lot better
Okay.
because I'm more outspoken. The confidence is there, it's there.
Right.
Um, and perseverance, I think as a Christian, perseverance is built in because we have to keep working every day. We have to persevere every day because we know our end goal is heaven. So
Right. That's true.
perseverance is part of it. Um, and I'm not one to give up, but sometimes, back before the confidence was where it's at now, I wouldn't give up, but I would just stop trying as hard.
Okay.
So, it would be giving up, but
Hmm.
it wouldn't be the I quit,
Right.
not that kind of giving up. Um, I would just let it waft away.
Right.
And spirit, it's, that's who I am. Everything is deeply rooted in my spiritual side. So even
Okay.
when I was working with DJJ and social services, I couldn't, give the kids scriptures or anything like that, but they got the foundation of what's right and wrong, you
Yeah,
know.
because you can give it indirectly, right?
Hmm. Exactly. And so they got that. Um, but yeah, so that's the before and after. And even now, I think my faith is definitely stronger than it was. Well, I know it's stronger than it was years ago because that everything is in alignment now, whereas it was
Right.
all over the place
It's
before.
funny how you had to deal with the imposter syndrome
Hmm.
because that that eats you alive when you're in business and stops you from progressing
It
big time.
does.
Like the confidence part, like that's the biggest element, the largest element when you're dealing with imposter syndrome because you do feel like a fraud.
You
And
do.
so it's
Yeah.
like, how do you gain that confidence? You
It
have to do some work in that area.
there was a lot of work I had to do.
Hmm.
A lot of soul searching, a lot of um honestly, mine was pretty, it was on the cusp of I should have gotten therapy, but
Yeah.
but I didn't, and I didn't realize it until, later down the road. Um, and one of my great friends is actually a therapist. And so we would talk about things and she's like, I struggle with that and I struggle with that. And so when I actually wrote a book on overcoming imposter syndrome
Mm,
called Grace Over Doubt, and which started it
awesome.
all. Yeah, I took a year break from writing my
Okay.
dissertation to do that because I'm like, I need to get this out.
So
And
you
she actually
published it.
I did publish it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And so she was a big proponent of that. And so after I wrote it, she was my go-to going, okay, am I being clinical here? Because I'm not clinical. I
You
mean,
wanted to
I'm
make
a
sure you stay with the
psychologist,
ethical
but
guidelines. Okay.
right. I'm like, so I need you to make sure that I'm not crossing any lines here. And after she read it, she's like, you touched more places than I could have thought of in therapy. She
Mm.
goes, I didn't
That's because
realize.
you've been through it.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, I felt every minute of this. And she goes, there's spots in here that I can relate to so well. She goes, I didn't realize I had some of these tendencies.
Wow.
I'm like, really? Oh my gosh. So it spoke to you, it touched you, it influenced whatever. She's like, it did. It really did. And so when I very first published it, I did a little workshop going week by week, doing each chapter. And there was a group of about 5 of us. And we went through each chapter, and seeing the transformation in these women just on the chapters of the book was phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for God to tell me I was doing something right any more than their responses. It
That's
was
awesome.
it
It
was
was
so encouraging.
transformative, right?
It was very, yes.
So let me ask you a question. As a leadership success coach, how important is it to deal with imposter syndrome when in
Ooh.
your business? Because if, you know, I'm sure that comes up a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I think so. As leaders, we struggle with over analyzing things. We struggle with analysis paralysis. There's there's a lot that as a leader we
So
have
true.
to,
So true.
yeah, that we have to really persevere through. And because we are the example, we are the go-to, we are the ones that people look at when they need answers. And so having having that confidence and having those chops makes a huge difference if you have them all balanced. But when as a leader you're all over the place, it makes people, it it makes it hard to follow. I mean, we've all
Yes.
had leaders that had good sides and bad sides, and had good
Right.
qualities and bad. And what I noticed over the years is, and when I'm looking back, as I was developing this, I was thinking about all the leaders I've had in my life. And this, if they would have had something like this, it would have balanced them out to have
Okay.
more confidence to move forward the way they needed to, without second guessing everything, or you know analysis paralysis, or I'm the big dog, you got to listen to me,
Yeah.
those, which, you know that pride that,
Yes.
you know it's real.
It's
um
real. Yeah, it's real. It's out there.
so
It's
I
real.
mean, but that's just an insecurity.
Hmm.
Because if they've got that pride where they're like, no, you will listen to me, and this is a da, 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 I'm right, you're wrong, they're dealing with some sort of an insecurity that they may not even understand,
Right.
and
And some people hide behind that
mm-hmm, they absolutely do. And
that
it's,
false sense of leadership. Yeah.
mm-hmm, so they have imposter syndrome too, and they're imbalanced.
Because leadership is serving. So
Mm-hmm.
when you,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. Yeah, you can hide behind leadership, and then you could tell when people are doing it because it pops up. You operating out of a fear
Yeah.
based attitude, which can
Yeah.
actually ruin the relationship
it
of
it
the people
can.
under you. Yeah.
It's either, my way or the highway, or I
Hmm.
don't know what I'm doing, what do you think I need to do? And those under you want to know that you are in control and you have
Right.
direction. So when you're going, I don't know what I'm doing, I've had a few of those leaders too. What else do we need to do?
Right.
It varies. But having a balanced approach to leadership is imperative.
It's so important. Yeah.
you know I mean, and one of the things that I've also realized over the past couple years, while I was doing some of the research for the program, is I'm finding that some of the church leaders are imbalanced,
Yes.
and they don't they're the ones that I'm finding have a harder time realizing that they need some help you
Because they
know
stuck with the title and
mm-hmm,
focused on the title versus
exactly.
the
And
leadership, the
so,
role of a leader. Yeah, that can
yeah.
happen.
And so one of the ways that I'm trying to help churches is do workshops for the parishioners and
Hmm.
help them, they're going to listen, they're going to benefit, but tell them it's to help them from the bottom up, to help them achieve their goals for the ministry.
Right. So
and
they
help
can feel
them.
confident when they come across the pulpit.
Right. It's like you're
Administer
going
the
to be
word
the
of God.
hero in
Yeah.
this, So that's where I go to.
Okay. All right. So how many books have you written, or is that the only one that you've written so far?
Well, that I have that and an accompanying workbook that goes with it. And
Okay.
I am in the middle of, well, not in the middle of, I've got one book out in a series that is going to be out. It's called A Jewel in His Crown, and
Okay.
it's a devotional for women, and it takes all the jewels in the Bible and it looks at the the holistic meanings, the meanings back in the day. It looks at the current meanings and takes all those traits, and we go through all of them. And
Okay.
yeah, so there's going to be so the emerald is actually already released. I have the ruby, the pearl, the diamond, topaz, amethyst, um, and a couple others
Okay.
that that are the covers are done.
Okay. So yeah, we'll definitely put your links in the video so people can so people can definitely order, or if they're interested in getting your books. So what is your onboarding process for your clients?
Honestly, I send them straight to my calendar, and
Okay.
we set up a 30-minute conversation just to see where they're at, because I take a very holistic approach. I
Okay.
don't I don't want to assume anybody is at any certain level, or you know, I take a very holistic approach. And so we just have a conversation to see, I mean, see if we're even compatible,
Okay.
because maybe I'm not as dynamic as somebody needs, or they need, I don't know.
Sometimes you're just not a good fit. Don't mean you're
Yeah,
not. Yeah. Don't mean you're not
yeah,
qualified. It just means that
right.
sometimes you.
I
Yeah.
mean, it just, so I just want to make sure that, they're going to be invested, because it is an investment in their self,
Right.
and they have to be willing to do the work, because there is work involved. There's some internal stuff that they need to go through and look at and really contemplate in order to really grow. So,
Okay. So you
but
got a
we
program that you have for people to sign up for. Tell us about that.
so I have a couple programs,
Okay.
whether it be the one-on-one. Oh, my computer just froze up. I have a one-on-one program where we go through 8 weeks
Hmm.
of of all of the CHOPS program.
Okay.
So there's workbooks involved, there's reflections, there's journals, there's all that fun stuff. And with the group, there's weekly group coaching. There is peer support, guidance. It's in a judgment free group.
Okay.
It's a private group. Nobody, I don't let anybody in unless they're part of the group.
Okay.
um, but once they're in the group, they're in the group, and they're there until they decide to leave.
Okay.
So, but it's for the one-on-one and the groups, those are 8-week programs. So it
Mhm.
is a little bit of a time commitment, but not much, because like the group, it's we go live, but it's going to be recorded, so they can go back if they're not there for that one.
They can
um
look at it. Okay.
yeah, they can go back and get all the same homework. It's all there for them. But I also offer half day and full day workshops that
Okay.
go through this program. Obviously it's not 8 weeks, it's half day or full day, so it's a lot crammed into a little bit of time. And but the ROI is still there
Okay.
for these corporates and small businesses and churches. It's worth it. It
Okay.
the psychological side is it builds resilience. The
Awesome.
social side is it strengthens connections, and spiritual is it anchors people in their purpose.
Okay.
So, you know, my little tagline is one framework, endless impact. So
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So if you had one piece of advice to leave the audience, what would it be?
don't underestimate yourself, because you have great purpose. You just might have to dig a little bit, but you have great purpose and we will find it.
Awesome. Good. That's some good advice. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us more about what you do as a business success consultant. To the audience, if you feel that you need this service, please reach out to Terra. She'll be happy to help. She will have her links. Well, I'll have her links in the video. Also, if you feel like you know someone who does need her services, please do share the video so that they can get to know her and see if they're a good fit. And we just want to say thank you for listening and being with us this Monday morning. Happy Monday and have a wonderful day.
It's your time to shine. Your journey to chart. Coach Rice wisdom will heal every heart. So join us now. Let's make life suffice. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice.